Hey guys, Mike here. So today's cult classic review is 1979's Quadrophenia, starring Phil Daniels and Leslie Ash. In Quadrophenia, Phil Daniels plays Jimmy. Jimmy pretty much hates his life, he hates his parents, and he kind of wants to join the mod scene because he thinks he'll have a good time with them. However, he finds out that being in the mod clique isn't exactly what he hoped it would be. And so we have Quadrophenia. So again, this is another one of those movies that before watching it today, I had never seen it, and I don't think, honestly, I'd ever heard of it really either. So, what did I think of Quadrophenia? Well, first of all, it's definitely decently acted. You know, it's pretty much up to the standard of what late 70s acting was at. No one gives a particularly amazing performance, but no one's really terrible in this either. And while Phil Daniels' performance as Jimmy was decent, I have to say that I really hated this character. They try and set him up as this, oh, woe is me, my life is so hard, why can't I catch a break character? But in all honesty, he's just a terrible person. He's a weasel, he's a scumbag, and everything bad that happens to him in this movie is his own fault. And I have to say that the rest of the characters in this movie aren't any better either. They're all horrible, they're all violent, and they have no respect for anyone, including themselves and their friends. And I wouldn't really say that Quadrophenia has much of a story, though I'd say that the overarching story within Quadrophenia is pretty much the gang/turf war between the mods and the rockers. I mean, even to this day, we still have groups of people who listen to one music, who hate people who listen to a different type of music, and I think that's probably the most timeless thing in this movie. And you gotta admit, we're all victims of this. We all listen to our certain types of music, and we tend to not really like people who listen to different types of music. That's pretty much just the way it is. It's obviously not a hard rule, but it is one of these things that's just kind of established. But I have to say, it does get over the line when it goes from not liking people who just don't like your music to pretty much the point where you start beating them up for absolutely no reason. And I would have to say that was probably the worst part about the movie. Though obviously it's probably not the first one to have done this, but it's when all the mods and the rockers have their big, massive scrap in the middle of Brighton. And while this was a well-directed, well-filmed, well-scripted scene, and it was definitely exciting, I just couldn't get behind either side in this argument. And I have to say, this is probably the first time I've ever rooted for the police in this situation, because they're all just such horrible, scumbaggy characters that I just wanted to see them all locked up in prison. And I have to say, like Easy Rider, the biggest standout from Quadrophenia for me was the soundtrack. There was just some absolutely brilliant music in this movie that has obviously stood the test of time. And I have to say, that was probably the best part of the movie, just watching them socializing, having a good time, you know, just like listening to music, appreciating it, and just being kind of friendly, really. Though obviously, even in these situations, they're still horrible scumbags. These were definitely the highlights of the whole movie. So, do I think that Quadrophenia is a cult classic? Again, I can definitely see how this is a cult classic for some people. However, myself, I would not put this as a personal cult classic. There wasn't really anything I took away from this movie other than hating the characters, and I just don't think it was really that good that I would necessarily recommend anyone should watch it, really. There are obviously some timeless things like the music and the parents judging their kids for the music they listen to now, thinking, oh, this is nothing like the music I listened to back in the day. Every generation is going to have this, where they'll listen to some music and their kids will listen to some different music which they don't approve of, and then the kids will do the same for their kids, and so on and so on. It's pretty much just something that's as old as listening to music itself. So in summary, Quadrophenia is a decent movie. I just wouldn't put it as a personal cult classic. Okay guys, that's my review of Quadrophenia. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!